And here is what the Lord said. The passport office will close. The license department of the USA will close. You won't be able to get any of the simple things you need to identify yourself for travel or movement purposes. So get those things early rather than late, ahead of any surprise announcements that America may have. America will have a lot of surprise announcements in the year ahead. He's speaking of 2026. The year ahead is comprised completely of surprise announcements in which you will be hearing news that you never heard before from the TV, radio, and social media apps. What you never heard before is what you will hear. What you never knew could be possible is what will be asked and required of you. You will be in shock as you read the news reports and see what they are saying about America. You will see the options lined up starkly ahead of you. Stay or go, and you will enter the wind tunnel of decisions that will, quite frankly, no matter what you decide, change your lives forever. Either way, there is no going back. This is not MAGA territory, though many may claim so. No, this land, this place you live in, is now the firm and complete territory of the beast of Revelation 13. Hear the word of the Lord. Fix everything you need to fix, or you may not get a chance to fix it anymore. It may be cut off. It may be retired. It may be furloughed, which is the same as it being cut, because once it gets placed in retirement, it's never coming back anymore. As a teenager, my mother would always tell me to take an umbrella at the most inconvenient times. She would wait until I was going to a barbecue. She would wait until I was going to somewhere where other teenagers my age would be looking sharp and cool. She already required me to bring the outfit and wear it so she could see it. But no, it wasn't enough. As I would be heading out of the door sometimes on a blazingly beautiful and hot day, I would hear this voice coming out of the kitchen, coming out of the living room, coming from somewhere, take an umbrella with you. And I would think, this lady thinks she's going to destroy whose style? Who's going to a barbecue with other cool people carrying an umbrella by their side? Am I Mary Poppins? And because I didn't want to lie and say, sure, Mom, I would melt out the front door like smoke and make my way to the place of my peers. And we would be barbecuing and shooting the breeze, smiling at one another and just enjoying life. And then the Lord from on high would cover the sun with a dark cloud, and he would send winds that did not match the clothing that we were wearing. And then he would open up the heavens and pour out a blessing that nobody asked him for, and destroy the party or destroy the barbecue by flooding it with Noah levels of rain. I always came back with stuff plastered to me, and she would say, did it rain? And she would never use the weather app. It wasn't weather app times. I don't know how she did this. But the reason I said what I said in the beginning is because I thought, who closes the DMV? It has never occurred to me once in these prophecies to mention the DMV. I have always said that one day when the pressure of passports was too much, when people start to realize it's getting dangerous out there, it's getting real out there, I think that this is no longer the country I grew up in. This is no longer the nation that I came in, I naturalized in because I wanted a better future for my children. I think I should leave. I said there would be an early surge for passports, and then those people would leave, and then there would be arrest. And then something else would happen, and then people would go and get passports, and then they would leave and be arrested. But I said that when things began to look real, and they're looking real out there right now, then people would begin to get more passports. I saw someone share that even Jamaica that they come from now has a very long waiting period, almost a year. Why? Because a lot of people are going back to their roots, to require that they get that passport so that if the American one isn't coming quickly, they'll have something else to leave on. I suggest to those people, if you find that list that is happening, it's not enough to lean on your contacts here. You actually need to connect with the contacts over there so that they can get you ahead of the line. The reason that the long line is coming if you're applying from within here is because the books have to be sent back over there to get processed. You need to make contact with whatever linkages you have in the place that you're applying for and get them to put your application in from there. Have mom do it, have grandma do it, have somebody do it, and you will find yourself shockingly at the head of the line. You have to think smart, people. You have to stop sitting and saying, well, what should we do? I know one thing that you should not do, and that thing is asking, what should you do? What should I do is not a suggestion. What should I do is actually a collection of words, a strung together sentence that is guaranteed to sting you in the neck with the poison of paralysis. When you say, but what should I do? It literally tells your brain, kick back and let somebody else figure it out for you. That's not going to happen. Every time I declined to take an umbrella, Noah's Ark came out of the sky. Every time. Till when I grew up and I would hear that voice, make sure you take an umbrella. It didn't matter how much the sun was shining in the sky. I took the umbrella. I took either a small one or I learned to take a big one. Why? Because I learned from experience that I do not have all experience in myself. I have spoken of the passports and I have said that the pressure on the passports will mount until the waiting period gets longer and longer. But I also said that once these people can see that you're trying to get out of here, they're going to kick those books up from 120 to some kind of 535. And the reason they will do that is to close the window so that the people at the bottom, the people they enjoy trampling the most, can't leave. The higher the barrier to entry, you better pray more. The higher the barrier to entry, you need more of Jesus than you currently have. Instead of scrolling on TikTok, you need to be spending long evenings, especially if you are a single person. The world is your oyster. You need to be spending long evenings deep diving on your laptop to see what the options are out there and which one is within your bracket. And you know what? Look at a couple that are above your bracket. You go right on ahead and look at a couple that you can't afford, because Jesus never told us to measure our future by our pockets. Matthew 7:7 doesn't say that. It says, ask and you shall receive. Seek, you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open to you. He never told you to only look at where your little hand can reach. He's the provider. He's the waymaker. No part of your ID says Jackson T. Waymaker. If it did, we'd all be praying to you, Jackson. Jesus is the provider. Jesus is the waymaker. Jesus is the answer. Jesus is the one that will do some kind of swirl loop thing. You'll be back in my comments like, you won't believe this, woman of God. And you know what? I probably won't, but that's the way it's supposed to be. If you have a miracle-free relationship with Jesus, it's time to fix it. If you believe in a miracle-less God, you're believing in the wrong one.